So, I've uncovered shocking new information about the agenda behind alien abductions. This is a Twitter thread by Jacques Kiel, and this is taken from the book from Dr. Carla Turner. The book is Taken. And this is a fascinating slice of what the alien abduction agenda might all be about, and some interesting stuff related to it and the whole origin of humanity. It's a really fascinating thread here. So let's get into it. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like. Please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Please share this video when it drops on social media. That would be super helpful. I'm trying to get the word out about this channel. Please consider becoming a channel member. See the first line in the description below, or simply leave a tip in the tip jar with the super thanks feature below. That'd be awesome. And of course, comment on this story as I'm going through it. All right, so here we go. This is again from the book Taken. This is a quote. And when they were apparently satisfied, the action ceased, and the abductors gave me a clearly delineated summary of the things I was meant to perceive. Esau, I can't pronounce it, Esau, the older and hairier brother, they explained, represents the original human species on this planet. This is from the Bible story. Jacob represents the altered product of alien genetic manipulations of that older species. The aliens produced this new variant and then used it to replace the original form. Interesting. So they're saying this Bible story is actually a parable for the alien creation of humanity, altering it from this original state, which is something that comes up in the research a lot. The aliens, or the beings, whatever they are, created humanity. Often the story is that they took a simian, an early ape-like or chimpanzee-like creature, and turned it into modern man. That's a really interesting idea, because what does that say about the Nordics, who look just like humans? Did they create us in the image of the Nordics? Is there a template that they're using from on certain planets? This looks like a good fit for the Nordic template, and they made us that way? Or something altogether completely different? Probably is. Okay, moving on. But yeah, this is a woman describing her abduction experiences and what she learned from these experiences. In our current situation, the aliens are once again doing genetic alterations of our species and are once again trying to produce a variant which will be more useful for their purposes and which will supplant us. And again, it will be attempted through deception, as Jacob deceived Isaac. Interesting. This deception, I was told, is being carried out by the aliens through exploitation and manipulation of global events, including weather phenomenon, to make us believe that the planet is in imminent danger of cataclysm and destruction. Okay, I mean, you could go into like a political thing on that, but fortunately I won't. This is why they impress the idea of coming destruction upon us, upon so many abductees. And I think this is why I thought this was so intriguing, this particular thread and this excerpt from the book, is because that does come up so many times in my research in alien abductions, and I've researched this a lot. That the beings will tell people that the world is about to end, or there's these environmental cataclysms. They will brainwash people into being more environmentally sensitive. And, I don't even think it's a bad thing to be more environmentally sensitive. I think that's probably a good thing. But they do actually brainwash people into thinking that. And there's a wonderful experiencer who actually was able to consciously, under hypnosis, to remember being brainwashed. And they hooked these things up to him and made him watch these videos. And when there was destruction of the environment, he was made to feel very, very bad. And when he was seeing beautiful nature scenes, he was made to feel very, very good. And this went on for a long time. So that kind of might explain the Edgar Mitchell Foundation study showing why people who have been abducted 10 or more times are more prone to be environmentally sensitive. So, and again, I'm not even saying there's anything malevolent in them conditioning people to be more environmentally sensitive, but it is they are conditioning people and, using some not nice techniques. Like I said, he was made to feel very bad when he watched certain images. So, and that also explains some of the marks that people find on them, because when they were hooked up to these things. Anyway, moving on. That is why they impressed the idea of coming destruction upon so many abductees, telling then they will have, I don't know about the English here, telling then they will have tasks to perform at that time. Okay. I think they mean telling them that they will have tasks to perform at that time. And that is, again, something you see again and again in the research. The beings telling people they have some missions. They have something to do when the shift comes, to use the David Jacob word. When the shift happens, when the ships land and there's a catastrophe or cataclysm, they are given tasks to perform leading up to it or during that apocalyptic event. Some people are taught crowd control, where they are taught how to herd the panicked masses aboard the waiting UFOs. And so that is one of these tasks that this expert is referencing. They are being told they will have tasks to perform at that time. They want us as a race to be so afraid of this upcoming destruction that when they show themselves openly and offer to save us in some way, we will be willing to take their help, even if it means giving up our birthright, so to speak, which is preeminence on this planet. Like Esau and his hunger, we will say, what good does it do us to keep our birthright if we're all going to be destroyed along with the planet? What have we got to lose if we accept alien help, even though that means accepting alien control? Better to survive under subjugation than not at all. So it goes on. But my host, but my hosts stress that this is all a deception, that our planet, without their intervention, is not in imminent danger. These terrible disasters we see, the flooding, hurricanes, and earthquakes, are sometimes being intensified by the very aliens who will then come in and offer to save us from the inevitable destruction. Very interesting. We should not believe them, I was told emphatically, and we must not surrender our sovereignty to them, as that would mean we were truly lost forever. After this, I knew nothing more until waking in the morning, very disturbed by what I'd been shown. I had no way of identifying the source of this event, and never caught even a glimpse of my abductors, who stayed behind me in the dark. I couldn't deduce anything about the event from my past encounters because this one was completely different. I knew I hadn't been taken anywhere because I woke up consciously in the midst of the experience and was able to check my physical surroundings. Very, very interesting. Here's a comment by Jacques. She is very thorough. I wish more of her work was shared here on Twitter, but I have a great deal of reverence for Carla, her research, and legacy. She was such a gentle soul dealing with trauma and put so much energy and passion into uncovering the truth. One response says, I'm not sure the aliens would bother playing games. They would just do what they want to do, knowing that it would be accepted by the next generation of humans as the norm. they wouldn't be concerned about a revolt because they could just threaten more weather manipulation. And Jacques says, how would any of us know what aliens would bother doing? And let's see. Here is what Paul Vitals had to say. The more I think about the various sacred texts and traditions regarding hairy men, Sasquatch, etc., the more I'm forced to admit that there's something to it. Ever since I began studying Bigfoot, I suspected it was some sort of precursor human, not like most people might imagine. And I thought that was also a really interesting comment. That's why I bothered to read the comments. The idea that Bigfoot could be a precursor human. You know, according to, this story and the biblical parable, Esau, I know I'm getting that name wrong. Sorry, I didn't go to Sunday school very much. Was the early hairy man. And Paul is saying maybe that was Bigfoot. And that was the early hominid or whatever that we were created out of. Now, I think that's a fascinating idea because I have done another video showing David Paulides' research that Bigfoot may be a human hybrid. Well, what if we're the hybrid? What if Bigfoot was the original being and the beings created us out of Bigfoot? If that's true, what does that imply? Because Bigfoot has all these abilities that he can use very, just all the time, and phasing in and out of reality, just fantastic abilities that we don't seem to have, or if we do, it's been suppressed. So if we were created out of Bigfoot, and that's an interesting idea, but then that would mean that somebody deliberately tamped down our abilities and our, maybe connection to other dimensions or realities or what have you. So anyway, a very interesting idea. Let's see. Somebody says Jacob and Esau were twins as Jacob was holding Esau's heel during birthing. We all have the text and info we need. I don't know why people have to put aliens in place of spiritual realm. Well, sure. I mean, I think that's actually a valid point. Because there is a huge metaphysical, spiritual crossover with the alien. And the UFO I saw made the shape of the cross in the sky. It can't be overstated what a huge crossover there is between the metaphysical and the extra-dimensional in the quote-unquote alien. But anyway, I thought this was a really fascinating excerpt from this book by Dr. Carla Turner, Taken. I think I may have to buy it and read it. But there's so many books out there. How do you choose? But yeah, so a really interesting take on the agenda behind alien abductions and how they might be manipulating people into being concerned about the fate of the planet and to accepting their help when things look really dire. And that really, goes along well with a lot of the research. So that is a really interesting perspective. I'm glad I read this. I hope you got something out of this. Who knows if it's true? The beings that told her could be the ones that were lying, and the beings that are talking about the apocalypse could be the ones telling the truth. Or they could all be lying. So take it for what it is, but it's an interesting way of looking at it. And I thought it was worth sharing with you. So let me know what you think about all this craziness in the comments below. Please hit like, please subscribe, and hit the bell. And until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.